What's up, guys? How's it going? So in this video, I just want to give my quick post-fight thoughts on Willy Hutchinson's wide unanimous decision victory over Ezra Taylor. Now, the fight went pretty much as expected. I thought Willy Hutchinson would be winning most of the rounds, and if Ezra Taylor was to win, I thought it would possibly be sort of by a late sort of stoppage if he was able to catch Willy Hutchinson when maybe Willy Hutchinson got a little bit fatigued in the second half of the fight. However, that was not to be. Hutchinson controlled the fight. The first few rounds were competitive. I think Hutchinson was winning most of them. Definitely won most of the rounds throughout the fight. Maybe you could have given Ezra Taylor one or two, possibly of the earlier rounds. Like I said, they were quite competitive. I thought Hutchinson was winning those rounds, but Taylor was having some success. He was able to also go back and forth and land some shots as well. On Hutchinson, he landed a decent right hook in the second round that I actually thought might have wobbled Hutchinson a little bit. But other than that, Hutchinson took over the fight, controlled the fight really well, and pretty much schooled Ezra Taylor. I would have liked to have obviously seen Hutchinson sort of press for the stoppage in this fight and look to push Ezra Taylor back and see if he has a bit of a back foot game or not, and maybe try to get to Taylor's body a little bit. But this would have obviously been a little bit of a risky strategy, and it wasn't really worth the risk when you've won most of the rounds and you're going to get a wide decision. So it didn't make sense for Hutchinson to do that. But from an entertainment perspective, I think if he really put his foot on the gas, he probably could have forced the stoppage in this fight. And then from Ezra Taylor, when you're behind on the cards, his corner was sort of employing him to try and motivating him to try and go for the stoppage, to take some risks and, throw caution to the wind. But obviously that's easier said than done when you've got a good counterpuncher on the opposite side of the ring of you in Hutchinson that's, making you pay every time you swing and miss. So I see obviously why Taylor, didn't manage to really go for it at the end. He was a bit cautious and a little bit gun shy that he could possibly get stopped. And I think he was also feeling fatigue a little bit. It was a big step up for Ezra Taylor, and he wasn't quite ready. Willy Hutchinson showed that there is levels to this and that he was on another level to Ezra Taylor. Like I say, that is why I would have liked to, from a fan's perspective, like to have seen him try and go for the stoppage. But yeah, nonetheless, decent performance from Hutchinson. He looked pretty good. He was in his groove, boxing nicely, had his hands down. But, with Ezra Taylor being quite predictable offensively, he wasn't really getting hit much, even with his hands down. I know he always boxes with his hands down, which can be quite risky. But in a fight like this where he was pretty much seeing everything coming, catching a lot of the shots, and using good head movement to avoid a lot of shots as well. Good performance from Willy Hutchinson, and, it's going to be interesting to see who he fights next. I didn't really actually listen to the post-fight commentary, so I'm not sure if he's in line for a world title shot or if they're going to put him in a big British fight against someone, like Ben Whittaker or one of the other sort of top Brits. I'm not sure. Let me know in the comment section who you'd like to see him face next and what you thought of his performance here tonight. Decent performance from Hutchinson. He won easily. He was just on another level to Ezra Taylor. But yeah, thanks for listening, guys. Talk to you guys again soon. Cheers.